Information fueled.
Opinion driven.
This is Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
we talk news.
8:06 on WTNR. So I'm on this nokings.org, Joan.
Yes.
Where you can, put in your zip code and all that, and you can find the one near you. Do you know what my question is? Like, they are holding, and Andrea says on the super text line, they are holding training sessions on Zoom and all these. Do these people not have anything better to do? I mean, they just got done protesting Elon Musk. And
George
now they're
Soros has big pockets, and he can pay them for a long time.
Real quick, because Jennifer Sheets is holding, but people are bombarding me with, these supposed Craigslist ads.
Yeah.
For like, hey, $12,500 if you'll throw a rock. I mean, I'm just going to tell you that I've been burned by those fake ads before.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if they're legit or not. I find it hard to believe that even George Soros would pay $12,500 for somebody for an afternoon. I just do. But whatever. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. But nokings.org, if you put in your area code, or your zip code, I should say, then you'll find the No Kings event near you.
You'll find where to avoid over the weekend.
Well, I mean, honestly, people are like, should I come into Nashville on that day?
Yeah.
We've had protests before in Nashville, and we have had some issues. Of course, we know that has happened, but I think we're going to be okay. See, we're not a blue state. Nashville is a blue city, but we're not a blue state, and I believe that we'll be okay. But we'll have to. I mean, obviously, use whatever precaution you can if you're coming into Nashville. I guess Chattanooga's going to have one as well, and I mean they're going to be all over the state.
And you can bet Memphis will.
Oh, Lord. Can you imagine? Jennifer Sheets is in Los Angeles, and she joins us, of course. Jennifer is well known here on Nashville's Morning News. You're on all the time. You also host a weekend show that we'll get to. Jennifer, number one, how's it going in Los Angeles, and where exactly are you in the City of the Angels?
City of the Angels. Well, when I got off the plane and got out of baggage claim, right when you walk out and take your ride share, there's a group of protesters with the media and the police, like right there. Not a very big group.
Do you know what's kind of like, Jennifer? It's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever been to Hawaii, but when you get off the plane in Hawaii, they say aloha, and they put one of those flowered lei things over your. So in Los Angeles, it's like, what is LA now known for? Just protests and riots. So it makes sense.
Yeah, you got to it's like the gauntlet. You got to get through that to get to where I'm at, and I'm in Beverly Hills right now.
Oh, la-ti-da. So
so I'm here just because I have a company I'm helping out to do something kind of what we're talking about today, and so I'm here for the week and visiting. So I kind of had to come through all of that, and it's pretty peaceful here in Beverly Hills. But I'm like a stone's throw away from downtown. I can see it right here, and it's a mess. It's on every station. Every local station's covering everything live, and they even had these people in the back of a pickup truck that were handing out masks in boxes. They were opening up the boxes, and they were handing out masks to everybody so they could run around and destroy things and loot. Is pretty unbelievable.
It's kind of funny how you said stone's throw, considering all the concrete is being hurled.
Right, exactly.
So let's talk about this, because you and I have spoken about artificial intelligence before. And as a matter of fact, you have actually predicted what we are now actually seeing. And so one of the things, and there have been a couple of different reports that are out, including one last week, that basically said that there is going to be an Armageddon as far as the jobs go, because a lot of jobs are going to be lost thanks to AI. And what that's going to do is that is going to impact our economy overall. So talk about that a little bit, because, I mean, you literally, if I remember right, didn't you write a book on this?
Yes, I did. I wrote a book that came out a few years back, and like 3 years ago now, and I have been screaming this from the rooftops. I have really because of who I am and because I'm considered boots on the ground and I'm not the, have the backing behind me that other people do. No one was really listening. But what started happening was a couple years ago when Elon Musk started saying some things and Kevin O'Leary started saying some things, people were tagging me and I'm like, aren't you talking about this? And it's because they call it the job Armageddon. I called it the technology apocalypse.
Yeah.
I said it on your show. I called it that.
Here's a quote from the book real quick. The book is called Human Capital Lifeline. In our race to automate, we've forgotten who we're running over and that the machines aren't buying the product. The people
Amen.
are buying the product. But if the people don't have jobs because of artificial intelligence, then yes, that will impact our economy.
This is the biggest upside down. If anybody's a fan of Stranger Things, I talk about it a lot. I call it the upside down. It's where we're like, if you're a company, what you're seeing is you're seeing this race to automate and be efficient. So they want the biggest, baddest, newest thing that's out there, processes that are lean and mean. They want to bring to their shareholders, lean and mean bottom line. They want to be profitable and everything. And in doing so, they want to keep up with what everyone else is doing. But when you race to do something like that and you're just tunnel vision and you're doing that, there's so much collateral damage, right? What they don't realize is they're going to race so far and so hard to get the best products, goods, and services that it's going to dump so many people that there's going to be no one to buy it. Well, that's the problem.
Yeah, the headline of this article, Daily Mail Money, the silent bloodbath tearing through the middle class and flipping the U.S. economy on its head. They say, and you just mentioned too, Elon Musk and hundreds of other tech mavens wrote an open letter 2 years ago about how AI was coming to automate away all the jobs and upend society. It looks like we should have listened to them. The article reads, layoffs are sweeping America, nixing hundreds of thousands of jobs at Microsoft, Walmart, and other titans. The newly jobless speak of a bloodbath on the scale of the pandemic. So have these numbers, how bad have they been over the past, year?
They're worse than what you're reading, and I'm going to tell you why. There's a couple reasons why. I'm not sure if people know this, but most of the time when they get reporting numbers like this, they come from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, which is fundamentally flawed. That data is fundamentally flawed. I've actually talked about that on your show a few times, because private employers are not required to report layoffs unless they're over a certain threshold. And most people won't do it anyway, because if you're laying off, you're in survival mode as a company anyway, right? So the last thing you care about is letting the Department of Labor and Statistics know what's going on. So it's flawed anyway. Then you got to think about 99% of the companies that are in the United States have 500 or less employees. They're small businesses. And of those small businesses, 64% of them are what our GDP is, right? So you start laying off that group of people and you start seeing what happens. And so the numbers are very flawed. I mean, the 2024 White House report said, now this is back in 2024, said over 3.5 million jobs in clerical, customer service, and transportation would be disrupted, eliminated, or permanently altered due to AI by 2030. That's already happened. That number's done and gone. Like, that's already been hit and gone. And what people aren't understanding too is that we're not just talking about like blue collar jobs. We're talking white collar jobs. We're talking. I'm going to tell you right now that you'll probably see universities cut in half in the size of professors that are there, because people are going to be able to go online and get a curriculum. And now, mind you, Dan, I don't agree with all this, and I have ideas of what we could do to slow the roll. I mean, you have to integrate technology, very responsibly is what I want to say. But because, age discrimination, this is going to be the other thing. And we just talked about this on my show, just a couple of weeks ago. This is so alarming. I have to tell you guys this. I'm going to actually post something up on my LinkedIn account about this. I'm screenshotting what's going on. I'm talking to a bot right now. I acted like I was looking for a job. And when I show the responses and that the major companies that are putting their whole all in on these bots and chat things and Workday to decide who's going to be the heartbeat of their company, and they're paying them to do this, and they're downsizing everybody that supports that's a human being, you won't believe what's going to be in charge. And so here's the thing. there's a huge, gigantic, it's like one of the top consulting firms in the world right now that does HR placements, all that stuff like that. They're hired by the biggest corporations. I'm talking like Pfizer, the biggest ones right there. They're in a massive class action lawsuit right now. They are in a massive class action lawsuit right now because of the age discrimination algorithm that's built in. Now, I know you guys have heard me talk about before that I said how many of them will say if you put 2 spaces behind a period, they dump your resume before you even get it because that means you're over a certain age because you typed on a typewriter. And that's how you learned how to, do that. And you're not running it through an AI.
Yep.
And so the answer they're trying to tell you is take your resume, throw it through an AI applicant tracking bot to better your chances to get your resume seen. And what happens is when it spits it out, it's not the same resume. And so the numbers right now, you're seeing the age discrimination, you're seeing, they're not reporting things that they should be reporting. And it's just it's a hot mess.
It's a hot mess. It is a hot mess. So are the roadways. Jennifer, hold on. Jennifer Sheets joining us. I got a couple of follow-ups. We do, though, have to check the roads on WTN. As far as your weather goes, high today of 85 and partly cloudy, 69 now on WTN. Jennifer Sheets is joining us. Of course, I believe, and I think most people do believe that you are an expert in AI. And a guy named Joe on the super text line says this: there will be plenty of jobs making backhoes didn't end digging. Just more people could have pools. So what do you say to that?
Well, there has to be a shift of what's going on. I call it the analog job.
Yep.
So those of us that are over a certain age know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the things that the industries that are going to be very difficult to have a humanoid bot. Like everyone knows, right? There's more than 100 humanoid bots coming off the line in December. Go look it up. And they've already have them in China. We saw the viral video that went of one of them going crazy. The things that are going on. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to find something that's going to go fix your HVAC and plumbing and understand terrain and go into everybody's house or, understand that for building new buildings or at this point, a pool. Yep. I think there's going to be certain fields that are going to be very protected for a while. And I do think our line haul drivers, I know they talk about automating semi-trucks, but right now they don't have two things. And I mentioned this before on your show. One, they don't have a braking system that will stop it that's strong enough to be run by electricity, like it'll careen off a cliff. And then two, the other thing that's going to happen with all of those types of positions right now is that there's going to be cyber attacks. So people can flip a truck or a car or steal goods out of it without having the counterpart to that. So I think that there's going to be a lot of those types of positions that'll be protected for a little while. But yes, like I said, remember 70% of workforce layoffs never make it to public reporting. So how much it's really affected, time will tell.
Well, and this article talks about it's a financial Armageddon. It is for people who are losing their jobs. I guess part of my question is, okay, so the white collar jobs, talk about, because I've read that there's not going to be any white collar jobs left within the next 5 years. So I don't know if that's an exaggeration. So talk a little bit in our remaining moments about what jobs are most vulnerable.
Middle management. I can tell you that right now. And you know what? It's kind of full circle because lots of times middle management has been the epitome of what's been wrong in this country. You get people that don't want people that are really strong and as talented or better to they're afraid they're going to take their jobs, so they keep them where they're at. And then they also tell their bosses and the C-suite executives that this is the way it is and never give solutions. Always are talking about the problem. And so, it makes one part of a company not match what the quarterly financials are. So those jobs are going to go. You're talking everything from like marketing, because so much is digital marketing, which is unfair because marketing is very creative and human driven, but there'll be a part of that will be protected, but the supporting cast of it will not be. You're talking about from paralegals, human resources, even anything that has a data-driven componentry to it, like the legal field. I think education and curriculums, all of those things are going to be going to the wayside. And, they think that there's going to be enough jobs to take over. Well, one, they're scaling and moving so fast in one direction, it can't keep up with what's happening on the other side. And then you're also assuming that people are trained up to take what few jobs are going to be available on the other side. But here's the thing, I have to say this, just tell me how much time we have left, Dan, because I got to say this is super, super important, is that what we're doing is we're being subservient to the technology. So the way to slow this and stop this is to stop it just making it make decisions for you. You're allowing something that's coded by another human being to make decisions for you in the most important parts of your business. It's one of the reasons why I'm in LA, because there's a company here that actually wants to hire 37, people into their corporation over the next year, that they don't want to use these tools to do it. They want to actually use communication and go kind of analog and have people's creativity be the leading driving force of the heartbeat of what makes their company grow. And I think you have to decide in your company what is important to you that you keep close to the cuff, and what you can use AI for as a tool to be able to become better at the services you offer other individuals without sacrificing your company and the people that are in it.
Well, and I got to ask this question, Jennifer Sheets. You talk to these companies all the time, and the ones that are obliterating their workforce, I mean, do they at the very least, I don't know, do they have some reservations? Do they feel guilty? Or are they just, you know what, we're going to save some money?
They're owned by private equity, most of them, and they are dollars and cents people, and they're trying to keep up with research and development, and they're trying to keep up with the countries overseas that are putting those humanoid bots out. And so, no, they don't care. And what they do is they listen to people that are consultants at a high level that have no boots on the ground to make these decisions that are so disconnected from what's actually really happening that they're not understanding what it's like, throw the pebble in the pond and the ripples go all the way to the other side. I mean, they're creating a tidal wave. And so really what needs to happen is companies need to stop, and they need to take and compartmentalize their company and the pieces of it where they want to grow and build and integrate AI and technology responsibly, but who they leave in charge of it and how that's done. That is right now, if companies don't start doing that, there won't be any jobs left. But the thing of it is, when they start to turn around and look at it is when it hits their pocketbook, when nobody can afford to buy what they just scaled up to create.
I got to tell you, your book that you released a few years ago, Human Capital Lifeline, really was ahead of its time. Do you have plans? I've only got like 30 seconds left, but do you have any plans to update that book, or maybe make a second, write a second version?
Yes, working on it right now.
Of course you do. And Jennifer Sheets, host of Mastering the Workforce, right here at WTN, Sundays, 11 to noon. And Jennifer, as always, great to have you on. And have fun in ritzy Beverly Hills and stay out of Los Angeles, or at least where all the riots are. It is 8:23 on Nashville's Morning News.